Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm back and I'm mad.
This is the end of the world as we know it. Please insert coin to continue.
Hello, people. Have you all had a lovely day off?
Why do they have days? What? Fuck them. Prick bastards.
Welcome, Crispin, Soapdodger, Demon Sup, Danley, Rumbly,
Tasks me.
and of course, me as always, Jerry.
I've already been in your project touching it. Crispin, the fact you make it private is no barrier to me. In fact, I like it when it's private.
Yeah, then he knows he has the
them.
project all to his own. licking it all. Hazy boy, my dog Skip. Welcome one, welcome all.
I shouldn't do that because I was pouring resin. And I know my hands are still covered in stuff.
Tastes funny.
Yep, that's all right. I've got a beer to get round it. This one goes up to 11.
What? Why that isn't it called? What that bloody movie again?
Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap. Yeah.
Because this one goes up to 11.
Yeah. So this is Spinal Tap.
See,
But
11%. It's very good. That's not the big question for tonight, right? Because that's an imperial stout. This is a whiskey barrel aged stout from the big black cocks called Black Velvet.
Black
Right.
Velvet, if you please.
Now, the question here is, it says it's best before the 5th of November 2031. 10 years. I've never seen a beer, especially not from a fucking microbrewery.
That's
that has a
11 years.
that has. However, the question I had, and the question that wasn't unable to be answered in the off license, was why is there black wax on the base of this? We can only assume it was to stop whatever's inside melting the metal and escaping.
Why am I having
Ages like a
flashbacks?
fine wine. Sure, yeah.
Why
So,
am I having
sign me up
flashbacks
to this.
to Discworld and some of the beverages they serve melting?
Oh yeah.
Like-
No, you can never put scumble in a metal container.
What was that troll beer called?
well, Troll Beer did it as well. I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's ammonium nitrate. It's the base, isn't it?
It's
It-
something very acidic.
Yeah, but Scumble does it as well. It's made from apples, mostly apples. It also doesn't tell me what age, or not age, what percentage volume this is. It's just a beer. It's a beer that will be fine for a decade, and will rot the can from the inside out.
If the wording gets ages like fine wine is anything to go by, I'm guessing it's now at around 10%, and it only goes up.
I have no idea.
So at the end, just before it goes off, it's so horrible alcoholic.
Ages like fine wine. Lies. Fucking lies. But look, it's got one of those Tyrannosaurus Rexes on it with boxing gloves. Which is, stupid.
We need military ration packs with that beer in it.
Well, here's hoping. We'll be onto that one later on. That's the whiskey age one. This one is the Imperial Stout. Yeah, just a farmhouse Imperial Stout. Today's mostly all about the stouts. I bought like 7 different stouts. Kind of in a stouty day.
Designed in a lab and can dissolve anything except glass.
It's the best way.
Says my dog Skip. Well, what have you brought us today, Terry?
Mostly beer. Probably stuff apart from beer. Hang on. We're going to be starting off with this. This is a very quick update, but one I couldn't get past. Also, it's nice to see more Red Dwarf quotes. I did one in the Weekender, and somebody spotted it. I can't remember who. Was it the Dace? Anyway. Yeah, Star Wars, and now for something completely different. And it's simply because 42 has fucking lost his shit. We know they're really good at sculpting. We know they're fantastic at painting and lighting the insides. It's all fucking magical. And now at this point, he's just gone, I'll turn these fucking robots into junkies.
Yeah, and To be fair, the first time I saw the notification to see go look new thing at this project, I thought, oh, he does this weird thing of the walking analysis from the weird black and white movies from the 20s.
No,
No.
I know what you're talking about, the zoo troops.
Yeah,
Which-
something along those lines.
It showed how horses ran and shit like that. No, this is pure John Cleese. This is Ministry of Silly Walks time.
And I now want somebody to animate that with the proportional clanking noise these things make while walking.
It's just good. I imagine at some point putting together 50 or whatever you need for a fucking army of these, you just go, you know what? I'm fed up. Just go full. You go full Python.
Yeah, I'm guessing
Never go full Python.
he'll add some on mono wheels or broomsticks or going pogo stick.
It's all good.
Yeah. So
Anyway, so yeah, it's solely because of that. That's the only reason we're here, just so I can amuse myself there.
And it's hilarious. And just to think how many parts these tiny droids are, it's even more.
Like even their heads come in two pieces, if I remember correctly.
Insane.
There was an awful lot of swearing when people first went, "Ooh, hard plastic! Hard plastic's amazing! Everybody loves hard plastic."
Yeah.
Oh, and then
Please,
they opened
some
it and
assembly
went,
required.
Oh, I wish it was all back in fucking restic ABS plastic again, where it was just like slotting arm in.
Yeah, not with those guys.
Be careful what you wish for. Anyway.
Indeed. The next one is a particularly interesting one as well.
Yes. This comes in two parts.
Yes.
Part the first. Curus has decided that they're going to do Zul, Ninja of the Nth Dimension, because they're getting into 3D sculpting.
And what is a better subject to try getting 3D done by using a two-dimensional sprite?
Now, he does say, incorrectly, creating miniatures that should have always been. I put it to you, Zul should not have been created. But, teach their own. I imagine we're going to see things like Earthworm Jim and Toe Jam and Earl next and shit like that. It's just gonna spiral.
I'm pretty sure somebody already did Earthworm Jim.
I did Earthworm Jim when I was still at Games Workshop by taking a Space Marine and a Skaven tail that was separate, glued the Skaven tail into the neck socket, and then just put two blobs of green stuff on for eyes. And you've got a perfect Earthworm Jim. You don't really need to fuck around. You do a whole army of them, which would be amazing.
But you need to make the occasional one where the head is as the whip in his arm.
Yes, that is true. However, Blinky did Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim, we think he's really fine.
Yeah, but
Earthworm Jim,
the second part to this project is this one.
Yeah, so this takes you to Ninja Bread's blog, I suppose it is, his website. If you're not on it, you should be on it at all time, because Curus is Ninja Bread is Curus. Now, you do get to see how Zul looks once he's done it with the things, and even has it standing on a little chupa chup lollipop symbol.
Because I think he was
amazing.
I think he was the icon of Chupa Chups at some point.
No idea. It's entirely possible. I can't remember that. But to be fair, I can barely remember the 2000s without going back to the fucking 90s. Yep, break out the space cake. It's time for Zul and Crash Bandicoot and other weird shit like that, because that's how you play those games. Tiki Mask, copyright for me.
Oh, if he's taking suggestions, I'd like to request that he does Bunker from Bunker's Bird Fur Day. Conquer's Bad Fur Day. Squirrel. Yes. Evil, squirrel. Naughty squirrel.
Not a naughty squirrel, he was an amazing squirrel. I don't know what you're talking about. It was great. Weirdly, Curus sells himself as having painted for Games Workshop, Forge World, Warlord, Mantic, Avatars of War, Foundry, Studio McVeigh, and others. Now, I mean, I've heard of a couple of those. I've heard of Mantic. Pretty sure I know what Warlord is. These other one, Gam Sweatshop. No, I have no idea. But he leaves out the fact that he's painted for Fugu.
What? He didn't mention.
Didn't mention. I mean, you know,
Fugu.
people go Gam Sweatshop. I have no idea what that is. But you go Fugu, and you go, oh, I'm fucking on board with that. So you know, rookie mistake there from Curtis, has to be said. Anyway.
Yes.
But yeah, just a little weird and wacky one, and I just fucking adore it. I will also say, on his website somewhere you will find the limited edition Space Marine /2000 AD Santa Claus, and I just stole his paint scheme off that. Now his is finished, mine isn't, but I did just steal it for my own because I figured after 30 odd years it was probably time I painted it. It's like,
Well.
Now, so if you want to see what mine would look like if I ever finished it, but probably better, then it's on this website.
Yeah, interesting one. Sadly, there's no button to get notifications.
Not to follow, but you just said it is one of your home pages. That's what I do.
It's true. That's very possible. But
Just
I might do
say
that later then.
That's how I play this game. That is how I play this game. Oh, look, he's doing Murkburg.
So, what is next?
Next is Carnivale.
Carnivale by Wobhost.
Jamascots.
Hello, James.
Yeah, I keep looking at Carnivale going, it seems like I'd enjoy this game. I like the models. I can never be arsed going any further than that. So I'm just living vicariously now through the project system.
Sounds a bit like what I do for Skyrim.
You know, it's a way, isn't it? It's a life.
Yeah, and to be honest, there is too many games, so we are physically unable to play every game. It wouldn't be feasible.
You know, I'm in a fairly good position to play every game. Theoretically, it's my job. You know. Oh, on that note, I will be playing Rourke's Drift this week.
Huzza!
I'll probably get announced on the website. I don't care if Warren's back or not. Paul is coming down because Paul is out of isolation and is capable. So Paul has come down on Saturday. So me and him will be live streaming Rourke's Drift. Maybe there'll be a Warren. Maybe they're not. You pay your money, you take your chances. Just saying.
Invite Big Ben, please.
Oh yeah, sure. I'll invite him. Ben, we're playing Rourke's Drift on Saturday. Get over.
I'm guessing just having him there for commentary would be a sight for its own.
It's certainly a something. Is that a hinge? Sorry, found a thing.
A hinge?
I thought it was a hinge. It's not a hinge. It's just a clip from where they put this together. Anyway, yeah, quite nice. I would prefer bigger pictures, multiple angles.
All the pictures are big, all right.
Well, the pictures are nice, but mostly what you're looking at there is the massive paint bottles. You can get big in those again, by the way, if your computer can cope with it. I mean, it's a paint bottle the size of a small child at that point with a miniature in front of it. And it's really good if you're looking to recreate the paint scheme. I do like that. I believe 1 p.m. GMT is the plan for kickoff, and I reckon it'll be about 3 hours. Let's say 3. Last time I played it with Ben was long. Not as long as the night before when we had everybody there and we had to keep stopping because Warren had wandered off to order pizza, or Warren had wandered off to look at things, or Warren had so there's a lot of time me holding up a King of Hearts going, where's Warren? Towards the end it was just King of Hearts. Warren's gone again. I'll take his move. But yeah.
Well, maybe you should next time chain him to the table.
Oh, it wouldn't work. It'd gnaw through his limb.
just imagining that now.
like a junkyard dog down on all fours.
La 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 la. Oh, Demon Sub, I'm pretty sure that if Twitch hasn't abandoned VODs, you can watch the first hour after you watch the rest.
It'll go up on the YouTubes and shit afterwards, I think.
Yeah, but live streams are always better because of being uncensored and raw.
Well, Well, these will be uncensored and raw. There's no editors going to be looking at this and going, I'm not editing that. Fuck yourselves. So whatever edits you see will be me pressing buttons during the game to show different camera angles, which means I need to get in and set up cameras at some point.
Oh, and welcome, Rolf, to our little happening. I'm looking forward to the next episode of Book of Boba tomorrow. That will be...
Oh, apparently it's back to just Boba Fett.
No, the Mandalorian.
So all the exciting stuff is gone. Back to the dull old grind of a bounty hunter who's shit at being a bounty hunter.
We'll see about that.
We've already seen people come near him and he just gets punched in the stomach and falls over. It's like, how did you make your living? How did you not get killed up immediately, if not faster? Anyway, so a selection of miniatures there for Carter Valley, and you know,
and
like
some painting advice.
Yeah, I like that. It's not as nice as mine. I use like little pictures from the Vallejo website of their paint pots. So I'm just saying, my pictures are nicer. His miniatures are finished, but you know, finished isn't everything. He doesn't use Braemar beige at all, Hazy Boy. You know, I for one am appalled.
Isn't that even allowed? Possible?
Oh, Gretchen, well done for winning the thing, Hazy Boy. Hopefully at some point you'll get some.
Did he win a contest?
He won whatever the fuck that was called. Global Gunslingers League. You got one of the prizes from that. I've told Warcradle / Wayland / Business Daddy to send you your prize. It's fuck all to do with me, mate. Spin the wheel at this stage. They keep copying me into emails. It's like, why? There's no point in telling me you've generated an order through Kissflow. I don't know what that is, and I don't want to know. There you go. They arrived yesterday. Wow.
Oh, that's almost insanely fast.
I will say one thing. I don't know if you've got any of that shit already, because I know you like stuff like that. But when I got down to the 2 winners, and the plan was if somebody done Union to send them the Enlightened, and if somebody done Enlightened to send them the Union, so they had like the other halves. And then I looked at the other winner, and he'd done Union, and he was going to get the Enlightened, but he also had stuff already and had painted the legendary version of Gustav in his Spider-Bot. I'm going, well, he's already got one of those. Oh, fuck him then. He's going to get the Union, because I haven't seen a single Tesla on this. So.
Well, it's free, so why complain?
That is true. It is, yeah. You can always stick it on Fleabay.
Yeah, or swap it or something.
Smoke it.
Burn it! Burn it all!
Burn it down, smoke it. Smoke the lot of us.
Speaking of burning, the next project is... It's a burn.
Burns like my pee?
Yes, possibly. I don't know how your pee burns.
Oh, man.
So this is...
It's like you wouldn't believe.
Uh...
I run butter on my bell end just to calm the pain.
So, Rumbley8, doing more thingamajigs.
Yes, doing more Bot Wars.
Baking cakes, obviously.
Does everybody know the good news about the German delivery of Bot Wars that Tim has been waiting on for so fucking long? Has everybody heard?
I guess not.
Oh, excellent, Tim. You should tell us all about it, because you've been hassling the guy in Australia about the order, even though he's in fucking Australia. Tell us about German efficiency at your local game store. I'll wait.
So, apparently, some intern at my friendly game store has fucked up accepting the parcel from Australia. So it's on its way back.
Australia be sending this to us?
So it's back to Australia.
Send it back. We don't want it.
I can't even...
Oh, he wouldn't have made the trains run on time, would he? Huh?
I just can't.
He's been waiting so long. He's been pestering everybody. Where is it? You're in Australia. You tell me where it is. What's going on? I know what's going on.
Yeah, Crispin, that's the whole redeeming point. It has been a pre-order, so there has no money been exchanged yet, because I pay after receiving my goods, not before. I'm not pre-ordering that way.
Just bear with me. I'm just gonna. Like Muttley with a fucking medal. Anyway.
Yeah.
Enough of that. Back to the.
So just to get this straight, at the start of it, I asked Anthony about when are you planning to restock, because at that point it was out of stock on his shop as well, and he said, "Oh, I've already sent it to Germany. They will receive it." And then he came on his own, came back to me and said, "Oh, I've looked at it. It's already in Germany." That was at the beginning of January.
Sweet.
And nothing happened. Nothing happened. And in the Facebook group, which he invited me to, I just complained is the wrong word. I stated the fact that sadly I wouldn't be able to participate in the February painting contest, which led him to direct message me and asking, "Didn't you get your stuff yet?" I said, "No, nothing has been delivered." And then he looked where the parcel is, and obviously it's on its way to Australia.
Oh, that's so good. I mean, why would a game store get deliveries of things? It makes no sense.
As far as I can tell, the problem was because the delivery was made so that they had to pay taxes upon delivery at the shop, and the intern just said, "No, we don't pay for our parcels, we just get them." So he wasn't really aware that it's from outside the UE.
He's not aware that other countries exist, but Australia, it's just to our south. They were part of Anschluss.
Yeah. Long story short, still waiting.
Oh, good times.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So back to Rumbly8, who's buying
stuff.
all the stuff that's Bot Wars that's outside of Germany.
That, by
because
the way,
you can't buy it in Germany. Nowhere.
Life sucks. Sucks to be you. I love the idea for using the Energon cubes as objective markers, and I will be fucking stealing that for our battle reports.
Isn't that the whole point of the Energon cubes?
No. Yeah, your bots generate Energon cubes, and then like one bot will generate like 4, so you end up with a pool of them, and then you spend them during your turn, but you don't have to spend them on the ones that generate. So if somebody generated 4, you don't have to spend 4 on them. They just go into a pool, and you can use them wherever you need to do your abilities and kick ass.
So that they're sharing their energy, so to speak.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
maybe at some time in the future I will be able to read the rulebook.
Oh man, I'll tell you what. I'll send you a PDF copy since I know you're actually buying it. And then that way you can start reading in advance.
Kudos to Anthony. He also sent me at the beginning of our discussion the second issue of his magazine.
Oh yes, that's really nice. I like it. I can't remember the name of it though. Also, I squeak. Because it's not just about bots; it's about all of his games and just stuff.
Yeah, and I think his upcoming side game with aerial combat looks interesting.
Yep, it's all good in the hood.
Oh, I'm totally stealing this idea.
Priming your miniatures.
No, the use of good. That weird cardboard thingamajig.
Packing? Is it packing?
I don't know if it's packing. It looks like something I've seen for putting your neck around to bend it.
Yeah. Oh. Galactic transmissions. Cheers, Rumbly8. Yeah.
So he's doing thrashers now.
I get the honeycomb cat scratchers. Well, it's not just the thrash. I mean, obviously we know everything is being done at some point, but the Turbo Edition coils are done and dusted. Plus a bunch of Valiants.
Is that thing still on screen? Oh no, just barely out of sight.
Was that the massive thrasher?
Yeah,
they're amazing. I've told John he's going to have to do some can't remember who. I might have actually mentioned it on a fucking weekender. I might have thrown him under the bus on that one. Anyway, it's potentially doing some painting tutorials on Bot War stuff. I say that.
Don't you just love the design of these?
It'll just be contrast painted, but you know. Yes, I do. I really like them. So much so because I was sitting here today thinking about starting to paint them. And then I thought about Marco's recent shell shaded look, like it's comic book.
The one he did, what's his face?
No idea. Some little crazy man toy.
Yeah, the stretchy dude from that animation series.
Stretch Armstrong, Mr. Plastic, Fantastic Four.
Anyway, One Piece is the series. I can't remember how the character is called.
Sure, but all I was thinking was, how fucking cool would these look? But done like a comic style. With the animation style shading and highlighting and blacklining on them. Oh, wow, that could be really good. But they're all like flat panels. So it'll be really fucking difficult compared to like something more textured. I'm still thinking about doing it, mind you, because I'm just thinking if you've got like a top like a leg that's essentially just a cube, so you have like light blue, medium blue, light blue, dark blue, and then edge highlight and then just black line between the, you know, to try and reinforce the fact that it's like a 2D type thing. I think it'll look great. Anyway, I digress.
And let me just put it out there, Rumbly, you're a sodden bastard of a talented cunt painting 80s cartoons, robot things that I don't possess, and I hate you for it.
He wasn't going to paint any of these, and then he discovered you didn't have them, and then he thought, I'll paint them after all.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's the whole point of everybody painting miniatures that I want and don't have.
100%.
So,
I just love that. I love the concept of Bot War. I like the gameplay. It's really good. The mechanics are nice, and the miniatures are just so much fucking fun.
Yeah.
Anybody who doesn't like this, right, is a twat.
Yeah. Are the clear auspex?
No.
On part of the set, aren't they?
No, they come with just plastic, standard plastic bases with a beveled edge on them.
I might invest then in some. Basing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, get some acrylic ones. It looks sweet. You got pizza? I don't have pizza.
Who's got pizza? Did you bring enough for all? If not, go away.
You should be in salted soup. Do you not have a seal cast bottle? You should be trying to clean the mold lines off futilely or something. This isn't for you. Jog on.
Somebody's eating what's-its.
Oh, it ranks up there with quavers. Oh, that was something. Anyway.
Yeah, the only redeeming factor of this whole project is this unfinished tower of Pringles.
Yeah, you know, it gives you an idea of what's going to go there. This was something I was looking at. I have to go in tomorrow to film. Despite the fact I don't want to go in tomorrow to film. I want to stay in my bed. But I have to go in tomorrow to film. And the first thing I'll be doing when I get in is checking the scale to some of the apartment blocks and shit we have for Monster Apocalypse. I think some of it's going to be out of scale.
Yeah.
But some of it will be in scale because scale is something that happens to other people, not privateer press. So
what about
what
about the building we all see in the background that were for Drop Zone Commander?
Oh yeah, no, I mean we've got those. That's fine, but some of the other stuff looks weird and wacky because you've got like Superman's newspaper building with the big globe on top and stuff.
Yeah,
it would save me having to actually build anything. I don't want to build anything. I just want to play the game as quickly as humanly possible.
I just not only want to play the game, I want to have it.
Hey,
bloody hell.
As the philosopher Mick Jagger once said, you don't always get what you want.
Yeah, that's potentially true. And I'll be very happy once the box arrives eventually 2023.
Loidistan's probably a bit big because it's for 15mm. This is, I've been told this is 10mm by somebody, but I also remember reading on the website that it's between 8 and 10mm because I don't think there was a firm scale in mind when he started doing it. So the drop fleet stuff's probably closer size-wise to the actual buildings.
And let's be honest, the original Transformers movie wasn't really too sure about how sizes work either.
You know,
you had your Optimus Prime this tall, transforming into a truck, and you had what's his face, a Bumblebee this small, transforming into a beetle. So yeah.
Hi, Tuffy. Well done, you.
Tuffy, are your Deathcore of Creeks done? Yes? Good.
I had a dry January, except obviously weekends and the occasional drink midweek as well. But apart from that, totally dry.
Robot magic, yeah. I'm guessing as much.
You know, makes sense. Can't be any worse than anything else I've seen. Anyway,
so
staying with the comics.
Gorka, the Chaos one.
Yep.
Is doing a thong and 8 anus. Something.
Anus is bigger on the inside. That is actually true, because on the outside it's very, very small. But if you're good, give this up there.
If you have a lot of training.
Yep. I believe Crispin has a project to show you exactly how the training works.
Crispin is working on an apparatus to help you train your sphincter.
I really like Wong here.
That's the monk-looking dude.
Yeah, it's just so crisp.
Why does Thanos look like he's missing a teeth?
Maybe he is. Maybe the Mad Titan got one knocked out.
Knocking one out with the boys.
No, that's Soggy Biscuit. That's different. I have to appreciate, I mean, I know Chaos does this for a living, essentially. But you have to appreciate the speed at which he fires this out and to a consistent level.
Yeah, that's what scares me the most. Not just only the speed, but the consistency of quality he's achieving doing that.
Shocking, really, isn't it? I ordered a set of speed paints today.
The ones from Army Painter?
Yeah, because I'm curious to see how they work.
Yeah, that's on my pre-order list as well.
Yeah, I was watching Watch It Paint It, and he put his thumb on a knee pad while he was painting it black, so he had to give it a second coat. And I don't know if anybody uses Scale 75 paints. They are matte. They are fucking matte.
Light-sucking med.
Very much so. The second coat of black removed any shade or tone or definition from this knee pad and turned it into something akin to Vanta Black or Black 3.0. It was just the mattest thing I'd ever seen on a miniature. I've gone, that's a bit weird. So now I'm very curious as to see speed paints. But anyway, I digress. You're way the fuck ahead on. Oh my god! Oh, you're screaming through them like
I'm just
lunatic.
opening pictures to have fun.
Oh man, if you keep going all the way to the end, you'll be here all night. But yeah, it's just nice to see the Gorka one ramping through a whole variety. I also quite like the fact that things like Steve there still holds up, as does Iron Man to a certain extent, sculpt wise. I was talking to the gaming dude over the weekend, and he's just got into Marvel Crisis Protocol, and he's going, "Why have they brought numbers on the sprue and on the build instructions if those numbers don't actually mean anything or correspond to anything? Why is it so difficult to put these together?" And I went, aha. If you haven't seen my unboxings, then you know my
Please
pain.
rewatch them.
Yeah. You broke the internet there. Don't break the website.
Only a bit.
If you break the website, then they'll just make it worse. Every time you break the website, they slow it down. I think that's how it works.
Well, you just could get some more hamsters.
No, I don't think so. I think that, I mean, are they not culling them in China at the moment? There's a lack of hamsters. Although, to be fair, they are culling those hamsters because they're all pro-democracy.
I still love the story of that one male hamster that got away and got into the female enclosure and impregnated 500 females in one night. That's my spirit animal.
That's the way to do it. I need to what? I've been playing with the base set for my Silver Bayonet. What base set? Presumably you're not talking about Marvel Crisis Protocol. Or maybe you are. Now I need to know. I haven't seen a project.
Maybe he's hiding it.
Yeah, sometimes he does. Oh, hang on, there's Silver Bayonet, but that's Doug's stuff.
So this is one thing that irritated me. He's done such a stunning job painting, but why is there such a large gap in the arm?
It's because he didn't fill that gap in.
Oh, but why? Why wouldn't you do that?
Oh, you mean the base set of speed paints? That makes more sense. You know, I was going to just get the base set because I know they said it wasn't going to come out until the middle of February, but they've already started shipping it. And I thought, the base set is in the mega paint set. I'll just order the mega paint set.
But that only gets shipped in March?
Yeah, but if they're the same as this, then they're going to ship it at the start of March. And if it's not, if it's the end or middle of March, fuck it, I don't care. I do not need paint. The last thing I need is any more paint.
It's not like
paint is fucking ridiculous.
You're short on any color.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So.
I'm pretty much looking.
Brutally honest.
I'm pretty much looking forward to the set.
I'm not a fan of contrast at all. I fucking hate it. So clearly, spending a lot of money on a set of contrast equivalents from another company is genius. Well, you know.
Okay, can't you make that count as a business expense?
Who knows? I've ordered the new Dead Man's Hand 2-player starter set that came out on today. I ordered it yesterday. It's already been shipped, so I should get it tomorrow, probably while I'm up in fucking Korean. I thought, I could do an unboxing of that. It's a limited edition set, so I don't know how many they've got printed.
So it will be an unboxing of an edition that is potentially not even available at the time of filming.
Oh no, it's still there at the moment. If I get it tomorrow, I'll unbox the fucker, and it'll be out it won't be out next week because I think the Ninja's on holidays next week, but the week after, it'll be out during February when people can still order it.
Make John do a video without contrast.
Oh my god, I don't think that's possible these days. He seems to have gone into the contrast zone, is never coming out. Well, actually, that's not true, because I came up with an idea of painting just uniforms, because he likes painting uniforms, and I think that might pull him away from the contrasts. So I was talking to Charlie from Warlord Games, and I've asked Charlie to send me 30-odd figures, 10 per early war, late war, mid war, spread across every area of the conflict and nation who fought. So Singhalese Tricolores, check. Warsaw Rising Partisans, check. Finns for the Winter War, check.
So basically, no two uniforms are the same.
Exactly. It's literally because well, to be fair, I was talking to John. He was on side with this one before I started adding shit to his list. But if you want to get into World War II, it would be nice to be able to go, fancy getting into World War II, early war. How do I paint these? And just essentially have a playlist for the different periods and the different fronts. And then I thought I could break up the monotony for him, painting all that dull drab stuff by making him do Napoleonics and other periods as well. So that'll be fun for me. Not sure if it'll be fun for John, but I won't be painting.
Yeah, that just reminded me of last week's show.
Yes, Jam. He will be doing the Imperial Guard, and he was going, I don't know anything about Napoleonics. I'm going, that's all right, I do, and I'll pick out what you're painting, and I will send you the color plates from Osprey, and you just fucking paint them.
So Demon Sub has painted his bolt thrower, referencing then the band Bolt Thrower that had Warhammer covers. And I just thought about last week. You remember that we had an intro music last week?
Yes.
That
Thin Lizzy.
Yeah.
Weirdly, I was in the Rift Loft earlier and seen it was the New York Dolls, but from a distance it looked like Phil Lynott fans. And I picked it up and I'm going, no, it's not, it's the New York Dolls. I was thinking I should bring it down and go, look, here's another thing of Lemmy. just for Dutch.
Yeah. The funny thing is, I got content ID'd on the dog show.
Yes.
Which we had on for 10 seconds.
The Littlest Hobo is not the dog show.
Yeah.
Fucking Littlest Hobo.
Whatever.
You Philistine.
And that was marked the second the video got up. The content ID match for Thin Lizzy took roughly 48 hours.
That's because one of these is owned by an American TV company. And I think Thin Lizzy's catalogue is still partially owned by Phil's mum, amongst others, so it probably takes a while to get down there. It's not exactly Sony kicking the shit out of people. If you'd been on a bigger label, it would have been fucking matched so quickly. Your head would have spun.
It was just funny going, because I got the notification, your video has been claimed. I go, oh great, Thin Lizzy has been claimed. Nope, it's the Little Sobo. The 10 seconds that you can hear.
Nice. It's probably me singing it, because I was so pitch perfect.
Potentially, yes, could be. I wouldn't know. I've set that portion to mute. So what's next on the table?
Well, I thought we'd take a break from some Marvel Crisis Protocol from Gorka.
And go to Necrothrall.
We'd have a look at what Necrothrall's painting. Oh, it's bored out. Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Oh, what a shame.
What a shock.
Necrothrall, wasn't that a song by... can't remember. Some really good metal band.
Your ma?
No.
Sure.
Hang on a second, that bugs me.
That's all right. Let's do a quick search for Necrothrall. No, all I get is a fuckload of Base of War pings and one thing for League of Legends EOP no P. What? Which may just mean Necrothrall also plays League of Legends, which I believe is one of the video games, like Kirby.
Like the kids play. Do, yeah. I'm
he is
sure
41% of the top, if that is the Necrothrall. Well done, you.
Bloody hell. Oh, this is going to...
Thin Lizzy or Littlest Hobo Demon? There's a voice keeps on calling me down the road. That's where I'm going to be. And every stop I take, I make a new friend. Then turn around. We're going to get claimed again because that is practically exactly the same.
I think it was Overkill.
Anyway. Let's get back to the
he doesn't. Google's no help, but I'm pretty sure it was Overkill.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares where Necrothrall got his name from. Somebody tracked me down on fucking face page, which I was quite impressed by. Going, oh, I heard you did a review of my stuff. It was really good. I want to send you some stuff for unboxing. I went, that's all great. I would definitely love to do that. Also, how do you know I'm me? Because I do not go by my name on the face page.
Well, at some point, somebody is bound to find out.
It turned out it was somebody that I'd got into Clash of Spears, so they told them.
Oh.
Clash.
Everybody's awake again. So, back to Necrothrall doing Marvel Crisis Protocol.
Yeah, we've seen a bit of his stuff recently. He's been working on Magneto recently, though.
The one with the fiddly bit at the back.
Oh my god, so fucking fiddly. I mean, I'm glad I'm not the only person who thinks it's fiddly. I may only be the only person who thinks it's fiddly, but it's fucking fiddly. But I do like the look on it. I have to say, using a Zenith is good. There's a lot to be said about Zenithing, and then fucking paints / inks down.
Yeah.
I think he's used standard paints rather than contrasts, because you really want the poppy colors. I have no idea what a Zeros purple is, because I don't even bother checking what GW does these days. I couldn't give a tinker's jizz.
Cayenne flesh tone, washed with Reichland flesh shades, detail brush.
Sure. Whatever
Terrace,
Zeros
contrast
purple
paint.
is. 2 coats because it's quite thin. You know, there you go. But it's strange when you look at that first one. He looks like a bottle of tomato ketchup, or red sauce, as it's known.
Like Shazam.
Then once the purple's on there, and the contrast is on it, it's one of those ones where you see the gray square, and it's like, is it brighter or darker?
Yeah.
And it's not until you see it beside something else that you realize that it's the same. It's just how the effect of the contrasting colors around it makes it look. There's a fella I follow on the YouTube, Eldridge, who always does a mock color on the bases. So he'll prime his bases, or he'll prime his miniature like that, so it's all primed Zenith white, blah blah blah, and then he will essentially blob in greens and browns on the base. He's going to be covering them in flock later and adding stones or whatever it happens to be, but he doesn't like painting with a grey base because it affects how you paint the model, because you've always got that highlight there. So he puts the base color down, because then he knows how the final look of the model is going to be roughly in comparison to his basing, which is fascinating, I think.
I guess for some people that actually makes a big difference, depending on how they view colors.
I mean, if it's a specific thing, if it's like Napoleonic Prussians or British or French, who gives a fuck? They are going to stand out. But if you're painting Vikings or Irish or Dark Age or whatever happens to be, the choices you make when you don't have a specific uniform to follow means you could end up with something that looks quite drab in comparison. Once you put the basing material on, it starts to sort of fade in, and you might want them to be a bit more poppy. So I've not done it myself. I can't bring myself to start blobbing shit onto the base. Maybe I should. It'd be interesting to see if it changed how I perceived the color palette I was going to use, if I already had a rough idea of how the base was going to be under it.
Yeah, it's definitely food for thought.
Yeah, Rumbly, it's probably rolling his eyes here because he can paint. Soup's given up and fucked off a long time ago.
Yeah, and Doug has an interesting point in how can you make a balanced abilities and teams in a game of comic heroes. Well, technically you can't, because like the late, what's his face, Spider-Man creator. Oh god.
Steve Ditko.
No.
I think you'll find it is. I know who you're talking about, but I refuse
Stan
to tell
Lee.
you. Ah, fuck yous. Anyway.
Yes, so Stan Lee said there's no really value to the question who would win in a fight between X and Y, because it's always down to the one who writes the story. Which is...
The interesting thing about it is, Doug, old buddy, old pal, old chum, you could potentially play Captain America against Captain America. You're playing a team against a team. Some of them have synergies, which make them work better than others. But as far as the game is concerned, you know, if you happen to be punching Captain America in the face and you are Captain America, means one of you is a Skrull, you know, or
from the Bizarro universe.
Yeah, whatever way you want to pitch it. As far as the game works, it's not too bad. I say they're about to. They probably have by this stage started to print the new cards where they rebalance the earlier stuff, and they're changing slightly how some of the game mechanics work because it's been out for a while. So, you know.
When you say you can fight as Captain America versus Captain America,
Yes.
are these teams interchangeable? So can
Yes.
you play evil guys with
Sure.
good guys, or
all you need to do is put 10 on the table. 10 whatever. When they first released the game, there were only 10 models in the box, which meant if you were playing against your friend, then you had the same 10 miniatures until they started to release more. So you don't have to, it's not good guys against bad, it's your team against your opponent's team. You could build an entire team of mutants, or you could build the Avengers, or you could build Sinister Six, or well, you can't actually because they don't have all the Sinister Six, but you can build teams within teams, and then if there's an overall theme within a team, you can have specific team abilities. So if you have a Asgardians, for example, then there are abilities available because you also have like a card deck you construct, and there are ones that will be specifically for the Avengers, or specifically for the Sinister Six, or specifically for the Asgardians, or mutants, or Brotherhood of Mutants, or whoever it happens to be. So it comes down to who your leader is. So not everybody in your team may avail of it, but it means if you do try and theme your force, it's more powerful than if you just go, I'm going to take the Hulk and Hulkbuster, Iron Man, and Doctor Strange and Magneto, because why the fuck would I not take Magneto and, you know, the Beast, because he's good at reading books. So
it's an interesting way of building things. Using an IP and then going just completely ham with it.
Well, it's comic books. You should go completely ham.
Yeah, that's right.
Somebody said today, Bernthal's coming back as the Punisher in the Disney Marvel universe, which is good because they've already brought back Wilson Fisk being played by Private Pile. So the pronouns are not confusing. It's very simple. I've got a book there that explains all about it.
So after 2 Marvel Crisis Protocols, why not make it a hat trick?
Yep, the trifecta of protocols, as they're known in France.
So the Yellow Sloth.
The Yellow Sloth, who is not yellow.
Jeebus.
Yeah, well, you know, why the fuck not? Have you bet my bird?
Somebody went and had really some time invested in all those hugs and kisses.
Yeah, I mean, if they'd done it in oils, it would have been so much easier for them. Because they could have just painted it on, rubbed the fucker off. Doing it in acrylic is a bit more annoying. Doing it in crayon, easiest of all. But it's nice. We've been in here recently, so we've seen Ronan the Accuser last week. But yeah. I just like the look of it.
It's a very particular style of painting. It's not completely comic.
Yeah, I think it's because he leans into the non-metallic metals so much, and it's not a standard textbook way of doing non-metallics, I suppose. It's their own cheap and cheerful version, which gives it that very distinctive style, which I think works really well for the Marvelly.
Especially on the boots, I like the fact that the shine that goes down in front of it.
Oh yeah, it's terrific. Sham, as I believe they say in France.
Very nicely done. You talented fucker.
It's good times. Good time when it can. I just,
3,000 recommendations. Holy shit.
Yeah, but I mean, those are mostly from us. I mean, if you take away the hobby hangouts, you'd probably only have about 7.
Well, I'm usually not very fond of talking about the effect that this show might have on somebody. Well, I guess some
I mean, we
counts.
do an awful lot of work for charity.
No.
We don't like to talk about that either.
Do we work for charity?
Might do. I don't know.
I don't talk about it, so how would I know? Yeah. So what's next then for people to cleanse their palates?
Right. You want to get away from Marvel Crisis Protocol? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, please. Take me away from these talented people.
We're going to go and have a look at some of Marco Madman. Different Marco, by the way.
Not your Marco, the other Marco.
Not my Marco. Different Marco. Apparently, Steve was at Marco's last doohickey. I was annoying. I had to work. Otherwise, I could have gone down to that. I want to go down to that. Anyway.
Could you really endure all that happiness?
Yes, I could. I've seen a thing recently about how there's something called an air tag that people are using to stalk women.
Oh, the Apple thing, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I don't have any Apple things, but apparently it's really easy to stalk people with them. So I think if I do go down to one, I'll get one of those, plant it on Marco somewhere so I can stalk Marco.
When he gets into a restaurant, and you just message him, how's the food in XYZ?
Yeah, that type of thing. You smell different when you're awake, Marco. Anyway, so...
This is getting creepy.
Yep. No, there's no Captain Creepy. It's Marco Madman. Anyway, he's been working on more bits and pieces. We came here when they just kicked off the project, doing a few bits and bobs. They've done several more pieces for the Necromunda table. As you can see, it's come together quite nicely. And 19 subscribers on YouTube. You lazy, feckless cunts. There's 21 of yous in here now. I'm just saying.
But obviously they're all asleep, judging by chat.
Well, don't care. At some point, watch this back. Go to the fucking YouTube channel. Stick a thing in there. But I just quite like seeing people scratch build. I may have been bitching about this recently anyway. Yes, 3D printing and MDF and folding buildings and all that. Technology's great, isn't it? Oh, it's fucking amazing. But it's just nice seeing somebody just knuckle down and build their own shit out of shit. Like how we used to do it in the old days before everything needed to have its own specific model and rule set.
Yeah, it's getting back to the topic of last week's XLBS. Is scratch building coming to an end, or what was it? A lost art?
Shockingly, it probably. I mean, we don't think it is, and it won't completely disappear. Probably until my generation's dead. But there are a lot of people currently playing who won't think about casting up models and doing their own random shit, and who won't think about going and making their own terrain because there are so many companies out there who do it. And if you're playing certain games, then you just there's no point. You don't get special rules for your own terrain, which you get special rules for their terrain. Even things like Cromlex, Frostgrave stuff is really nice, but you don't need to buy official Frostgrave terrain. You can fuck down wherever you want on the board and go with it.
Yeah, just looking at this part, I mean, this is basically Games Workshop terrain added a few bits of paper card on a small board.
Trump flambe, Doug. But yeah, I mean, those tiles there could easily be something like Joan of Arc errata cards from Mythic, because Lord knows I believe that's a very versatile building material and one that a lot of people have their hands on. But there's nothing difficult in scratch building terrain. Even I remember talking to parents when I used to run GW Belfast, and they'd be in there and their kid would be going, oh, I need this, I need that, and it's fucking expensive stuff, and you could see in the faces of the parents sometimes that it was beyond their budget. I just go, you're at school, have you ever built a box out of paper or card? Smashing. Have you ever built a pyramid or a triangle. Do you know what a fucking Toblerone is? Great. Build a box, build a triangular fucking solid, stick it on top, bang, you've got a house.
Yeah, it's
Detail it. You know, it even something that simple seems to just pass people by these days. They need to have something, or I need to be able to stick a fucking STD on the print bed and go for it, you know.
I still think. Let me rephrase. I can get behind when people say I don't want to kit bash miniatures, and they only know the push fit miniatures that are monopose. Yeah, understandable. If you don't want to do that, you don't need to. But terrain is usually the part where you can really let your creative juices flow and do whatever the fuck you want. It's your bloody table. Make your story.
You should have seen the 8x4 I was looking at earlier of a fictional Afghanistan village that a guy in the Blood and Steel face page is working on. It was just a full fucking village. Well, I say village, more like a town. Just streets upon streets with a whole section that was on fire and a market stall in the middle. All scratch built. Gorgeous. Even the stalls, he'd printed out like Persian rugs on paper and then rolled them up. So he had a stall full of rugs where some were upright and some were flat and some were rolled out. And I'm going, that is fucking... Out of all of it, I mean, all the buildings are nice. They're just a box. Some of them are a box with half a polystyrene ball stuck on top. It's not tricky shit. The city looks great. You've got tea light candle LED things inside of fucking cotton wool for your fires smashing. The little stalls with your books and your pots and your jam jars and your Persian rugs. That's the bit I'm looking at going, that's fucking terrific.
Yeah, just looking at this as another example, this is basically one box of container from a Games Workshop terrain piece, and the rest is styrene.
Yeah.
Or even maybe just styro extruded or expanded foam.
Yeah, I don't even think it's foam core. I'm currently, obviously last year I did that thing where, because Chromatic sent us a fucking Orc Stompa for October the previous year and we did nothing with it. So I broke it out and then spent some time building it and sticking the smoke machine and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I'm contemplating doing something similar for a jerry can where I go back and use multiple techniques to build a full, like a 15 mil in or something, where I show how you can do it starting from the base, working your way up and painting the whole thing. And possibly, I got some stuff from a new company called Titan something. Titans? Lesson? Anyway. They do a lot of club foliage and shrubbery and shit like that. And I was looking at it going, well, I could get my Fugu. I've got a Fugu fucking barrow entrance that's been sitting here forever and a fucking day. And it's like, I could get some XPS foam and make a hill, but instead of being a hill for Saga, stick the wee barrow entrance on the front so it's still a hill, but do all the bits and bobs. So, you know, just to show people that they don't need to put your hand in your pocket. Fucking $5 will make a whole fucking town. Anyway,
maybe it's and that just is a thought that came to me. Since we are spoiled for choice and everybody and their daughter seems to be selling terrain and stuff, maybe we're just overwhelmed with choices and we don't really go. There's no need to try to spark imagination or creative feeds or anything. Maybe it's just stop looking at other people's project and start imagining your own stuff.
Yeah, you know, I see what you're saying. I also really think scratch building should be fundamental, because you hit 30, 40 years old, you've got all the money, fuck all time, go for your guns, 3D print your building, go to Mad Bob and get a folding one, go to Foreground, go to fucking whoever. when somebody's just getting into the hobby and they're 13 and they've got their pocket money, which is probably 20 quid these days, which is enough to get like half a blister from GW or something. I don't know what things cost. Anyway, they're the ones who should be going, how can I build this? How can I get terrain down on the tabletop? I can't afford to spend 50 quid on a 4-layer pre-painted MDF kit that will fit, 4 fucking men in the corner of the building. And it's shit like Mad Man Marco here is doing, where he's going, I've got some fucking polystyrene from a speaker cabinet and I'm going to stick it down, hot glue the fucker together and tear on. As long as you've got your hands on PVA and some shit from a fucking skip, you should be able to fill a battlefield with stuff. Yeah, and I think that's the main thing.
And I'm always very happy when I see that my local club is doing a terrain building weekend and they just do mostly scratch build stuff. And if there's bought terrain, it's usually from somebody who bought 3 core sets or something. It just doesn't want the terrain that's included, so that's getting remade into something new.
50p luxury, 20p in a slap.
If you're lucky.
That was good.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, I know. I think it is. I mean, the thing about printing is you can set it going and then go to bed. Nobody cares. And if it fails, then you get up in the morning and go, it's a fucking ruin.
What I like about doing things like Marco here is doing is the actual feeling after you've completed something, knowing this is something I created, I've done, this is a piece of craftsman work that I achieved. And
work.
So
you're letting your German industrial funk come to the fore there. No.
Entschuldigung. Wir sind keine Roboter. Yeah, but I think we're mostly here on the same page, so why not jump to the next page where we can discuss.
Also, I'll be checking, and if his subs haven't gone up past 20, I'll know you fucks haven't subscribed. I'll catch you. So, leaving behind the scratch building and the fantasy worlds that we've been inhabiting, and moving into the really real world of Napoleonics.
Of Silver Bayonet.
Technically a horror fantasy version of the Napoleonics, yes, but still. The Scribbly one has been doing the do with a whole host of animals. Still keeping that retreat from Moscow feel, the very Uncle Varnya's trousers, grim, grey, shit. Everything is shit in Russia. Shit. Look to it. So it's good. I appreciate it.
And he's got out of his way to use different manufacturers.
Wolves are really nice, Demon. Yeah. A host to fill out, because you need quite a lot of stuff. Well, you don't need quite a lot of stuff. If you roll something and you don't have it, fuck it, you don't use it, pick something else. But there are a variety of creatures that you can run into beyond the scenario, and picking what you have is a good way of doing it. So the Otherworld miniature wolves, I think it was last week we were looking at another. It might actually be the next project, to be brutally honest. But somebody had done a dozen black wolves. Potentially you could face 20 black wolves.
In various sizes.
But they were all from different companies, so they were different sizes, and it gave that whole sort of feel of members of the pack. This is something similar. You've got your alpha wolf, and you've got a whole bunch of beta cacks who have to watch the alpha fuck their moms. There's also that tiny Hellboy-esque imp hiding behind that ghoul.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, is this a Games Workshop model by the count of skulls? No. It must be.
No. Well, the skulls on the floor is something different. That's just what that is. That's there for fun and games, for giggly shits. That's also quite funny because Zebra tagged me, and I think everybody else from OTT going, oh, this ghoul model alone is worth a golden butt ding for this project. So I had to come in and go, this project got a golden butt ding in September last year. You've not been paying attention, Zebra, have you? Jog the fuck on, son. Anyway. But yeah, apart from the werebear and the like, there's also the things like the cannon on fucking sleigh. I mean,
Yeah,
Cossacks.
and just judging by this picture, my first reaction was, if they're going to fire that, they will need to run to find the gun again. But,
you know,
but then I later saw there's some kind of contraption behind the gun that is supposedly keeping it in place.
You know, you can use a Jeremy Clarkson log on a rope, although that will occasionally bounce up and smash your back window in. There are ways and means to stop it when it's going to go backwards. You can put a brake on it, you can dig it into the ice, you can stick down a peg, whatever you want to do. You know, it's still easier than using wheels on a cannon in this sort of weather.
In the deep snow, for sure.
In the deeply snow. But I love this. I love the fact that it is so themed, all based off that fucking picture. It's not even, I'm going to do the silver bayonet in Russia in the winter because of that, you know, failed French assault. It was, I found this miserable fucking picture of Russians. Everything is grey and dismal and dull. And this will be the basis for everything I do and how I paint it. And thematically, it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it just fits.
Having a coherent thought going into a project like this makes life so much easier because you always have a theme to fall back on, even if it's just the basing. Always having that standard basing that just ties it back to that sort of greyish picture.
And if he ever decides not to play the game anymore, if he just puts them all on one shelf, they will look like they belong together.
Pixie's Otherworld as well. Otherworld do really nice stuff. It's worth investing in Otherworld miniatures, just saying.
Yeah, lovely thing that Scribs has done.
Yeah, well done, Scribbly Scribs.
You won't get a gold button.
No, you've already got one. Fuck you.
Yeah.
To be fair, I say that, and then Ben will give somebody a golden button 4 months in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just going to mention that.
I don't know. Nothing to do with me.
No, Chris, but you won't get a button. I think Ben has you on block or something.
It might be. I don't know. I must go back and check. I thought Ben had given you a golden button for the ship when you were printing it at one point, but maybe that was just me talking about it on the Weekender.
No, I'm pretty sure.
I'll have to look.
I would have said that he was in the runnings on that as well, but maybe he redacted that golden button after seeing the butt plug Jesus taco holder.
No, because this was much later on. The butt plug taco holder was added because that is a fucking gift. That is a Christmas gift to the community.
Yeah, I think that shouldn't be made as a miniature.
That really should be. I mean, everybody should fucking own one of those. Anyway.
So, next up is...
I have no idea. I logged something in there. What did I put in there? Is it a thing?
Grotesque Ghouls. From...
yes, that
Night
more
Runner.
silver bayonet. But this time round, it's the Holla from Night Runner. So a bunch more of his ghoulie friends have been built up. Obviously, we were watching it eat the head of a toddler last week.
Yeah.
But now more of the ghoul tribe has been put together.
And they're
really
all very much male.
I mean, the one in the middle could go either way. I'm not checking behind that loincloth.
You're not?
But what I will say is the paintwork, the skin is absolutely gorgeous on these.
Yeah, it is.
It's very striking.
I
should order some of those.
I can't really put my
I had a
finger
unit
on
of 70
how
of
that's
the
called.
GW ones. What?
I feel like
Girl Mama?
the effect he did on these ghouls should have a name, but it escapes me.
Right. They're painted? That name? No.
And maybe it's
Different name from painted.
brain matter beige.
Brain matter beige. That's the way it goes.
Just stamp it there.
Yes, Demon. That's
Bob.
what I'm saying.
Yeah, Bob is
Otherworld miniatures.
is a
They're
good
awesome.
name as any.
Very, very awesome indeed.
There we go.
I just like them. It's probably because I had so many of the GW version of these with that rippling 6-pack that they made in metal before they did their shit ghouls. I think that's probably why I like these so much. The fact that GW's ghouls are wank. They're not just wank. They're a fucking prostate exam with sand and fucking Vaseline. They are god awfully shite, and I don't know who fucking designed them, but they should suicide themselves. They would be doing me and the world in general a favor. So
Are they so
just
bad?
yes, they're all fucking shit looking hunchbacks. They look like they've been done by a fucking half oxygen starved retarded child with fucking hairy backs that come to mohawks and skulls that sit on the hair upright because obviously hair can support the weight of a fucking skull. They are god awfully cock. Is
I
what they
just
are.
made the horrible mistake and Google that picture and got the crypt
Games
ghouls.
Workshop skulls. They are it's not a bit harsh. It's not fucking harsh at
Oh
all.
god, they're ugly.
GW did really nice metal ghouls like these ones from Heresy. And I ran a unit of fucking 78 of them in my Warhammer days, and I sold them at one point, and I thought I'll buy them again at some point in the future whenever I can be arsed redoing.
I'm guessing you're talking about these ghouls.
Didn't. Yes, no, those are the old ghouls. There was a set in between those.
Oh, okay.
That looked like the Heresy ones. Tall, thin, 6-pack, defined muscle. They look like humans that are very lean. There's no fucking fat in their body because all they eat is the sweet, sweet protein of dead humans. And then they got shitty fucking retarded plastic ghouls.
Are these ones?
Just type in shitty retarded Games Workshop ghoul and you will find it.
No, I was wondering
No,
if
those are Mantic ones. Those are gorgeous. Those Mantic ones are still better than the GW ones that came out like 5 years later, and people go, GW, they're the best plastics.
Yeah, the horrible
and I
ghouls
say,
are horrible.
do they fuck?
And I
Shite GW ghouls. That's my 3-word fucking oh, look at that. And then I just go images. And then I just click the very first fucking picture. And if you don't believe me, just type shite GW ghouls. Yep, there you go. Look at them. How the fuck is a whole fucking upper torso of that fucking skeleton balanced on his fucking back hair? How the fuck has he got back hair that stands upright? What the fuck are these?
Very good hairspray.
What the fuck?
You know the hairspray they used in the 80s to make these massive hairstyles?
Whole ozone layer. Yeah.
That's what they are using.
Maybe they were sniffing it. For fuck's sake.
Could as well be.
I'll ban you from the website. So I'll ban you faster than fucking portcullis.
So what's next on the table then? Evil Stew.
The GW store page is literally the first link for Shout. I mean, they know themselves how god awfully cock their stuff is. Fucking turd burglars.
So old hammering.
Oh yeah, look, back when GW knew you know how to fucking stretch somebody's back hair. I mean, I imagine those ghouls have fucking arse hair long enough to plait. Anyway.
Oh, please take these pictures out of my head.
Evil Stew has been working away on a variety of Dark Elves and Skaven.
And
You know,
different things, obviously.
Dark elves and Skaven are different things. This is true. One is Skaven and one is a dark elf.
Well, sadly, his pictures aren't the biggest, but they will suffice.
Yep. I'm just impressed that he's painted his Skaven, because I have 4 sets of those Skaven, because that was a set from the plastic starter set, which annoyingly they never released any other way. There were literally the Plague Mortar. The only way you could get the fucking Plague Mortar was by buying the starter set. They didn't release it individually. If you didn't buy the starter set, you couldn't field one in your army.
Yeah,
thankfully I was okay, because I bought 4 sets, but still, other people.
That's seemingly a thing that Games Workshop likes to do. There are
Well,
multiple things you only could get in the starter
Orc
set.
Death Copter.
Yes.
We're looking at you. Yeah. But those there are neither orcs or. I think those are
Not Skaven.
Yeah, those are the Confederacy, or if you're Cartman, Confederacy.
Respect my authority.
In his skirmish order.
Oh, this looks like a chaos bit.
Yeah, occasionally he goes off book. Archaon's Horde. Look at it. Look at it.
So many bases.
It's one step away from screaming "Worship me." I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4 fucking amazingly chunky blocks of Marauders in and of themselves.
And
all the wolves, which I notice he's using the undead direwolves with the metal heads for those, which is, clever. It's what I would do.
But the best thing on this is they all still got their square bases.
Oh, fuck it. Well, you couldn't play Warhammer if you didn't have them on square bases. You'd feel like some sort of freak.
Yeah.
It's really annoying. I put together 120 Vikings over the weekend, and because they were Victrix and don't fit on 20 mils, I put them on 25 rounds. And then I was talking to somebody else, and he's got a load of stuff that he's managed to cut onto 20 mil bases. And I looked at mine after having spent the entire weekend putting these cunts together, and I thought, I just rip all you fuckers off your bases, and I cut the shit out of them, and I'll fucking force you onto 20 mils. I don't know if I can be arsed though.
Can't you just cut the round bases square?
No, you can't. Here's a prime example. So 25 mil round, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I flip him round, his base is, practically the whole fucking thing. So I can't cut that square because I would lose his feet, because they're fucking actor stance legs akimbo. They're so fucking wide. And some of the pricks, right? I don't think any of these fuckers here, I think it's some of the 60 that are behind the sheet. Their surfboards that they're standing on are so big they don't fit on a 25 mil fucking round base. I had to cut them down just to fit them on a 25 mil round. For fuck's sake, they're fucking enormous. Victrix, sort your shit out.
Yeah,
anyway.
I can see why that is a pain in the rectum to rectify.
Yeah, it really is, especially because if they're on 20 mil squares, I could play them in so many other games.
Duck the fuck wants to know why 20 mil is your preferred size.
Most historic games use 20 mils as 20 mil square rather as the standard for human infantry. It's been that way since the WRG put their shit together back in the 70s. So yeah, 20 mil square is the way to go. Nearly everything else I have is on 20 mil square. My Clash of Spears stuff is all on 20 mil squares. So Greeks, Romans, all of that. My Dacians are going on 20 mil squares. It's just these cocks are too fucking big for it.
Warhammer Fantasy was 25 mil.
No, Warhammer Fantasy was 20 mil.
Was it?
Yeah.
Were they so tiny?
Yep. 25 mil was for things bigger than average human. So Chaos Warriors, Orcs, Beastmen
Okay.
went on 25s.
Now I see
Beastmen
why I was
Angkors were
on
20
25 mil,
mils.
because I only built the orcs from the Fantasies box I get, and the Imperium is still in box. So that's why I got...
Lasercut.co.uk sell them. Here's my bag of 20 mil squares. Here's what's left of my bag of 25 mil rounds.
I feel cutting bases at that size could be a something most laser cutting companies could do on the scraps. Just
I mean, literally, that bag, he sells it by weight, and it's like there's a guesstimate that there's 500 bases in there, but it doesn't really matter. That's £2.
yeah, gets you a long way.
If I'm ordering other shit, it's like I'm ordering my other shit. Like he did the foam inserts for the really useful boxes, which I love. And it's like, well, I'm ordering this and this. Oh, that's come to £34. Fuck it, send me 500 more bases. You know,
Can never have enough bases.
can never have enough bases. That's true. Well, I can, because a lot of my stuff I do is multi-base these days. So I have a lot of bases I throw in the bin.
Well,
But I digress.
happens to the best.
Evil Stew, it's great seeing the pile of shame come down via the medium of a fuckload of Dark Elf and Skaven. Also, I quite like the fact it's it's been painted. It lets me imagine what my stuff would look like if I could be arsed. I can't be arsed.
Yeah, and I do like. I want to know what this is going to look like when.
I mean, he's even got the two naked elves writhing on the floor with the flag above them, which was a Raging Heroes limited edition model years before they started doing that 3D print shite. She is still in the blister pack behind the curtain, untouched and unloved. You can't get the bitch anymore, but she's there, sitting around doing fuck. Her and her mate writhing over each other. Also, I'd like to point out those two girls on the base are kind of 1.5 pieces. I mean, the knees, they glue on at the thighs. It's a weird way they come together. It's like a 3D jigsaw.
like
metal,
these
they're metal, and then the flag is resin.
So like these wooden puzzles where you just drill them inside, and so they join up.
Exactly. So now I can look at that and I can go, huh, that's what it would look like if I took them out of their blister pack and put them together.
And paint them potentially.
Yeah. Not gonna do any of that. It's good.
I wonder.
I can live vicariously through the project system.
I wonder why he mentioned me for a work in progress photo. Did I ever call him out for not doing work in progress photos? Potentially.
Probably yes. I think you did. I think you did, and he cried, and he sent me a message saying he was in tears. If he put one up, would you stop being so mean to him?
Okay. I won't. Why should I? He's not the boss of me, is he?
Ray Darcy from Kildare? No.
At some point in the future, in the very far future, I might get that quote correct on myself, but not today.
No.
So, next up, please. Have a drink.
Someone called Pan.
Defect Tank.
Circup.
It's a defect tank.
I don't know. It's all very confusing. So, Lady Lydia of Hammerstein and her loyal knight George Daisling.
Can I just say that I love how he's setting up his pictures for his miniatures, and I'm very much jelly of the art he's making from this. He's actually raising the level of quality.
Well, if you go up and click on that one, the top one. No, top one. Right. So scroll up and have a look at the skyline on the top left between the watchtower roof and the building roof.
You mean this this section here.
Oh, I might do. I don't know. I've got to wait for the video to catch up.
There is a distinct line.
Nobody can see that. All they can see is our faces. That's why I need you to zoom in and scroll across.
I can't scroll across anymore. I'm sorry.
Nope, that's good enough. There you go.
You mean this here?
Yeah. So, I mean, if you look at that, that's got to be not worth a golden button there. That looks like he's photoshopped that. I go so far as to say he's probably photoshopped everything. I imagine the stuff isn't even out of the box. It's just assembled. based solely on that transition from purple to blue.
And you're telling me I'm being mean.
I know. No, I'm just saying. That's what it is. But if you ignore his blatant use of Photoshop to get away with that, not actually painting or building anything.
If it's even Photoshop and not just lazy photo P.
If photo P is even better, you don't even have to pay for that. The fact that he sets everything up into vignettes, and you'll see them in later on. There's his little YouTube channel videos and stuff. It gives a really nice idea of the miniatures in situ, where you're not having to just go, it's a couple of models in front of a range of Vallejo pots. You know, as much as I like that.
And may I
it sets out. Also, the fact he's chose red and black, county down, best county.
Yeah, and also he was very unhappy with how his black came out on the pictures and asked the community on how to do that. I don't know where your fucking problem is made. They look great. And that's black cloth. And black cloth tends to get lighter.
Yeah, fades very quickly. It's like purple in that respect, you know, the royal colour, because it's so difficult to maintain a fast version of it in cloth. Even today, getting black that doesn't go grey very quickly is tricky. Like I said, I chose to stay out of that one because there are better painters than me were commenting on it. I would say I find the easiest way to do black is to when you think you haven't highlighted enough, stop and walk away. Because the problem is if you over highlight, that's when you start to run into the issues where you think it's more grey or blue or whatever. Marco has a very, I'll push you the link later, Pete, actually. Marco has a fascinating one where he's painting and he's talking about chromatic blacks, where he's not using black out of a pot, but he's mixing different types of black, and he's using like a combination of red, green, and something, or blue, pink, and fucking yellow. Where he mixes 3 blacks using 3 different combinations of paints, and then filters them out on a piece of paper, showing how even though all 3 of them look black when they're on concentrated, that once you start to fade them out to sort of pull them down, you start to see like this one's more green, that one's more blue, this one's more red, because of the way he's made them using multiple colors rather than just using black. And I know you use deep sea green and dark gray and things like that instead of it, but it was interesting. It's probably the best way to do it. He's gone off on one. He's just rolling out porn mags now. Why do you keep your porn on scrolls? Why do you need to roll a scroll of porn?
Reasons. No.
Anyway.
Just because reasons.
Because reasons. But yeah. I mean, well, you're in the chat, Pete. You can probably answer this. You don't have much left to actually paint to complete the Baron's War, do you?
I think he had been going off in Discord more than once saying, this is the last one.
Yeah,
this is the last one.
And then there was another little glut of it. I've seen today that they've announced Baron's Wars 4 is coming to Kickstarter, where they're going to go crusade.
At some point, they might just refer to it as Pete's project. Yeah, again, just the way he sets up the scenery is just lovely.
Yeah. You should play one of the videos. Play a video.
Your wish is my command.
Good. Pete. Once he starts playing the video, claim a copyright strike against him on YouTube. Good times. Anyway.
I love the bee woman with the stripies.
Like obviously a lot of this is footsore miniatures, but then variety of things like First Core and the occasional bit of Fugu and a whole host of companies, Iron Gate scenery and as well, I think creeps in there. The scenery, the terrain that he's done for the project is, I think, as worthy of a mention as the miniatures themselves. It's just the total package, and obviously Fugu is best. Fugu.
Yeah, I'd really love to see until now he has just set up scenes, and I'd like to see a battle in it.
A battle report, you say?
Yes, also a battle report, but I would settle for some setup battle just to look pretty. Just don't scare him off.
Setting a battle up. You go to the whole host of settle a battle. There's bound to be a point where Pete's out demoing it, at which point just strap a GoPro to your head and then just, run the game and upload that.
Or just put it on a tripod next to the table.
I mean, you're less likely to see a lot of chests from young ladies walking past. Just love the idea of that Baronsmore battle report. You need 5s.
And later that night, when the video is released, there's a murder happening in the house of Panzerkampot. When his missus gets hold of the video footage and is giving him a stern talking to.
Also, if anybody hasn't seen this before, and if you're here, I kind of doubt that you haven't seen it before. The building that we've seen at the start with the Photoshop job around it is actually a flat MDF building.
A very flat one.
That he used a lamellar stencil and then put plaster over the top and pulled the brickwork stencil away to actually do the brick patterning on it, which is fucking genius. So much genius, in fact, at some point I'll do a jerry can on it and then claim it as my own idea. But
and then copyright claim his video.
Exactly. like that guy who keeps telling everybody that he did the sponge rocks before Lloyd decades ago, but nobody has ever fucking seen them. It's like, yeah, okay, Grant.
I did sponge. No, you didn't. But I did.
So it's the fact he goes, I did it and it was printed in a magazine. And I'm thinking, I've got magazines going back to the late 80s for War Games Illustrated, War Games, it's called Miniature War Games now, but it used to be Battle Games. And at no point did I see a fucking sponge rock in any of them. So, but he got really upset when Lloyd did it, claiming it was his. So,
well,
really, mate.
History is full of people on different continents inventing the same stuff that wouldn't have been the first.
That is true, yeah, except this fella was in England.
Yeah, I think that's purely coincidental.
I think it's purely a lie. Because when somebody does something like that, everybody fucking copies it. And I have never seen any fucker use a sponge for rocks until Lloyd decided he was going to start doing it. Just fucking never. You carve the balls out of I've got a whole rake of rocks, hot glued down to MDF. Fucking rocks, weigh a ton. Occasionally they chip off bits of stone. Because at no point did I ever think, you know what I need? I need a fucking bit of sponge to make my rocks. Never in my fucking wild. I used to look at polystyrene rocks and go, they look shit. They look like polystyrene that's been carved to look like rocks.
Yeah.
And then this book's going, I did it in a magazine. What fucking magazine?
And you would think that if somebody had done such a thing and it had been published in a magazine, he would kept a copy of it so he could prove it.
Well,
But
who knows?
At least give the name of the magazine and the the year it was
No,
released. But
not gonna do that. Is ChillCon on? I should get across the stuff. I have a horrible feeling the only stuff I'm going to get across to is stuff I'm going to be working at, where I won't actually get to say anything. I'll be too busy running around and trying to go stop talking to that ex-GW employee, Justin. There are small companies out there that do much better stuff.
Games Workshop employee.
That's what he was.
I don't know if that's an insult or some kind of redemption
Yes.
that you have left the company.
No, the fucking child who started his YouTube channel about painting and then went and did a Kickstarter going, I'm going to make a new type of paint, which will be exactly the same as every other paint, and people threw money at him because he's ex-GW. Fucking, I had a list of small indie companies to look at, and Justin was told. At one point he came back and went, what the fuck's the fucker's name? What is his name? Somebody in the thing will know. I did, but, I didn't interview myself at any stage, Doug. Something Rhodes. Gary Rhodes. No, he's the dead chef.
Two thin coats, though.
Duncan Rhodes. Justin came back and went, Duncan Rhodes is here. And I went, I know he's here. I don't care. Here's our list of partners that we need to see. And here's a list I'm making of fucking indies I've never heard of or have heard of, but we haven't covered yet. These are the people I want to talk to. And then later on that afternoon, he came back and went, talk to Dustin. Why the fuck would you talk to Dustin or Duncan? You're told not to. There are fuckers all around him who've never got a fucking ounce. So there are fuckers all around him who haven't raised £1 million on Kickstarter to fucking sell their own fucking paint, which would be the same paint that's in 5 other paint pots. Pricks. Anyway.
Yeah, it's there's room for improvement.
There is. People just need to people would be happier if they knuckled down and did what I told them when I told them. I think people want the firm grip of dictator. Veterinary was right.
I'm not going to say he's wrong, and
you'd be correct.
I also know people personally close to me having the opinion that a good king would be much preferred to our current democracy.
Right, they can cure dandruff.
Next then, Denzian.
Yeah.
What is he up to?
Well, we're finishing off the show. Look at us.
Finishing
off the show with some more fighting fantasy. Denzian's been working his way through more of his fighting fantasy books. Now, I'm not saying I solely picked this because of that time where Death Trap Dungeon was promoted via the medium of Kelly LeBrock. But what I will say is, if you want me to find one of your projects, putting Kelly LeBrock in there is not a bad way to go about it.
And if I ever had the intention of monetizing any of these videos, this would have been
don't fucking do that.
Gone now.
No. Why would you monetize? You're no better than Duncan 2 thin coats and £1 million Kickstarter roads.
Again, I'm not making any money on this.
I'm not either.
I'm not intending to. This is for pure enjoyment and stress relief.
I've not stopped crisping. Just got to keep on hammering away at it. What I will say is, I never realized there was a PlayStation version of Death Trap Dungeon. That passed me by, but I didn't own a PlayStation, so.
Yeah,
she doesn't look anything like.
What I love about the fighting fantasy books is the artwork that has survived over the years in multiple iterations of re-releasing. At least,
yes,
for the most time. It's just
like Leisure Suit Larry.
Yes.
It was on multiple versions over time.
Is getting a new game currently.
Is it?
Yes, I'm not joking.
Hell. Christ on a bike. Anyway, we were here a long time ago. Denzian was showing off his wares. I like the fact that he has gone through the book, and in some cases it is just, here's me going through the book. Here's my map. Here's what happened. in some cases, it's tied to a miniature. You know, it's just a case of reliving his way through 50 fighting fantasy books. One at a time or all at once.
I never actually knew until recently that the fighting fantasy books also had a science fiction variant. I always just do the fantasy ones.
I had Skylord, which I'm waiting to see come up on this because it's got the weirdest fucking front cover, mostly yellow, green, big fucking wide eyes, like one of the Rakata from the Old Republic. But that was the only one of the sci-fi books I had. Every other one was fucking straight down the line fantasy.
Yeah, I think fantasy lends itself a bit more to these kinds of books.
I've played. I was going to say Death Trap Dungeon. That's not what it's called. Darkest Dungeon, the castle thing.
Yes.
Is that what it's called?
The board game that's based on a computer game?
No, fuck no, not that. There's like a really super simple dungeon crawler game that was all black and white pencil drawings, and then they did a Escape the Dark Castle.
Now I know what you mean.
And they did Escape the Dark Sector, the sci-fi version. And I have to say, both of those work very well, you know. And they're essentially just fighting fantasy books, but done in card form. So I don't mind the science fiction. It wasn't really my bag. It's still not my bag. I'm mostly a fantasy fan. But it's great to see it. And I thought I would also pop this in here because he has been working on some of the miniatures. Oh, sweet. Anyway.
Are you distracted?
They came from the Kickstarter last week. Atlantis Miniatures announced that they're now on the website. So if you missed the Kickstarter for the Fighting Fantasy, if you want the mini-eyed bog beast or whatever it is, they're on the website for regular people to just go and buy. So if you are just a Fighting Fantasy fan and you don't like Kickstarters, you can just go in there and just lay your hands on them now.
Peter's asking, who is she?
Kelly.
Kelly LeBrock.
As Dutch pointed out, it's not Kelly LeBrock, who was Weird Science. Kelly Brook. She was a model in the early 90s. I'm trying to remember who the fuck she married, but she was one of these, like, who was that swan neck bitch? Oh, it's gonna pass me. Anyway, it was that period where you had models were famous, just famous for being, being
good looking.
Yeah. Whereas nobody gives a shit who models are these days. But you had Kelly Brook, and you had Naomi Campbell, and you had there was another one, but they were like, it's the same way you had the Spice Boys for Liverpool. The famous footballers who were famous and handsome. Kelly was that. She was just a model. Theoretically, she did some acting, but what I seen couldn't be described as acting. Atlantis Miniatures, though.
Well, she played Clark Kent Superman's the girlfriend of Lex Luthor in the Smallville series.
Yeah, she played Steven Seagal in Nico. What's going on there? It's possible she might have. You don't know. Why is Atlantis Miniatures one page? Oh, I know why. Because they've updated something on AdBlock recently, and it's not showing drop-down bars, and that's all well and good. I'm not disabling AdBlock. We've been through this in a weekender where I refused to disable it for a fucking Indie of the Week. I'm not going to disable it for this. Fuck yourselves.
Oh, it's Shopify.
Oh, wow. No. I tell you a lie, there's fucking nothing there.
No, they use the service that's called Shopify that's getting blocked by AdBlocker.
Yeah, but I don't have AdBlock on Foxyfire.
Oh.
So I should be able to see. the bits and pieces there, and I don't. So
maybe they
anyway,
just fucked up.
yeah, well, it may or may not be broken at the moment. Atlantis Miniatures, if you're after the front covers of a lot of the Fighting Fantasy books, they are now available, and they're on fucking offer. Because I was looking at the wheelies at like £16 and going, well, it's not bad.
I think this has it all. Products collection is empty, so the store isn't isn't filled with anything.
He's broken the store. That's okay. I'm glad it wasn't just me then. Well, if he ever fixes his store, you may or may not be able to get some of the Fighting Fantasy stuff. But if you can't, and you have to live vicariously through Denzian, then you can do that. Who used to come and visit this when we were talking balls, but then last week his missus heard how Punny planned to hunt them down, murder them both, and bury them in their garden and steal their shit. So I imagine he's not allowed to play anymore.
I wasn't going to steal their shit. I was going to bury them in their own backyard and then live in their place.
Oh, live in their place.
Because why would I carry around such burden?
I see what you mean, but you don't have to take something away to steal it. Steal just means to intentionally deprive. So if you have just taken their shit,
is it stealing if they're already dead?
Yes, it's still stealing if they're already dead. Otherwise, you could just go through the obituaries, find people who died in your area, and just kick their door in and take their stuff because they're already dead, not theirs anymore.
As long as there are no.
If you're kicking around and you have access to a paper with an obituary column, you can get free stuff in your area now. And if any judge or police officer questions you, you can explain that Tim, angry because he can't get his bot war stuff, told you just to take the dead's possessions. It's not stealing if they're dead, he screamed. I'm going to say, not a great defense, but it will be a defense.
No, okay. Fair enough.
Blue Giant. That's what keeps coming up on the newsletter they send me every week. Blue Giant, but I refuse to believe that that's their name now.
Talking about newsletters, what the hell is wrong with the newsletter?
Nothing. I got another one today. In fact, I've got to the point where every time I get a newsletter, I'm going to post it in the chat on Discord because I know you don't get them, and it just fucking amuses me.
I unsubscribed and resubscribed, and now I'm getting them again. So there had been some wacky thing.
No, speaking as the tech guy, I find it very hard to believe there'd be a wacky thing because I've never had
very wonky.
Missed, so
to use a technical term. Yeah, Panzer, if you don't get them, just go on OTT section newsletter and let them send you the configuration link.
Never unsubscribed because I don't even know where that would live. Mine all work perfectly.
In the deep, darkest dungeons.
You're the bitches. We got a copy of Darkest Dungeon from Mythic today. What I wanted was one person from Mythic Games to fucking respond to my emails about when we could do filming interviews with them. But we got a copy of Darkest Dungeon instead. So, that's something, I suppose. If, that's what you're after.
Yes. Why should your life be much merrier than mine?
I don't know. Because I have beer. I had one earlier that was called All Souls, the chili and chocolate stout, which is great. It's a little bit stingy on the way in. It's very stingy on the way out, as I discovered a couple of weeks ago. So.
Yeah. So on that happy thought, with Jerry having stingy things going in and out, I think we have sufficiently filled our 30 minutes of tightly scripted.
Tightly scripted 30 minutes, you bitches.
More than you lot deserve, I think.
Yep. In the words of Blind Boy, you gas cats.
Well, I think that says everything. Good night, good fight, and see you lot next week. Bye.
Yurt.